Ever wished you could push a level up button for your conversation skills so you never run out of things to say again? It's a common struggle, but not anymore. In this video, I'm going to reveal 5 more eye-opening techniques that you can use immediately to keep your conversations flowing smoothly, even when your mind goes blank. I'm about to unlock and supercharge your social life by adding to your conversational toolkit that will transform the way you interact with others. Unlike generic advice, these techniques are based on sound principles and real-world testing. You'll get actionable strategies you can apply immediately, not just theoretical concepts. So whether you're shy at parties, on a first date, or someone who just wants to make a lasting impression in any setting, this video is your game changer. Plus, I'll share a game-changing conversation bonus technique that most people forget to practice that can make the difference between getting a call back or being ignored and forgotten. Now, speaking of game changers, let's dive right into our first powerful technique, smooth segues, the art of changing lanes. Sometimes you need to change the subject without slamming on the conversational brakes. Think of smooth segues as your conversational turn signal. Try phrases like, "That reminds me," or "Speaking of," to seamlessly shift gears. For example, speaking of movies, have you seen any good ones lately? This keeps the conversation flowing while steering it in a new direction. Now that you've mastered the art of changing lanes in conversation, let's dig a little deeper and uncover some conversational gold with our next technique, follow-up questions, digging for conversational gold. Remember those open-ended questions I talked about in an earlier video? Well, follow-up questions are their powerful cousins. Don't let a good topic die. If someone mentions they love to travel, don't just nod and move on. Ask about their favorite destination, their dream trip, or their most bizarre travel experience. This shows you're engaged and helps uncover some more interesting topics. It's like using a metal detector on a beach. You never know what treasures you might find. But what happens when, despite all these techniques, you find yourself face to face with the conversationalist's arch nemesis, the awkward silence? Don't worry, we've got strategies for that too. In fact, our next technique is all about turning potential conversational dead ends into new pathways. The art of pivoting, or conversational jiu-jitsu. When a topic is running dry, pivot to a related subject. This is where you can combine the skills of asking questions and sharing personal stories. If you've exhausted talk about someone's job, you might pivot by saying, "That's fascinating. It reminds me of a podcast I heard about work-life balance. How do you manage that in your field?" The key is to find a connection, however tenuous, to make the shift feel natural. Sometimes, though, even the most skilled conversationalist can't avoid a moment of silence. But don't worry, silence can be golden if you know how to handle it. Let's explore how to embrace those conversational pauses. Handling awkward silences, embracing the conversational pause. We've all been there. That moment when the conversation screeches to a halt and you're left staring at each other like a deer in the headlights. But fear not. Here's how to handle and even leverage those dreaded awkward silences. Stay calm. The silent meditation. First things first, don't panic. Silence isn't your enemy. It's an opportunity. Take a deep breath and remember that it's normal for conversations to have brief lulls. Think of it as a mini meditation session in your dialogue. Embrace the pause, the power of reflection. Sometimes a moment of silence can be refreshing. It gives both parties a chance to gather their thoughts. Use this time to reflect on what's been said and think of a new topic or question. Remember, comfort with silence can be a sign of confidence and intimacy in a conversation. Change the scene, the environmental reset. If all else fails, suggest a change of scenery. Hey, want to grab a coffee? Or shall we go take a walk? These can provide new stimuli and naturally restart the conversation. It's like changing the channel when a TV show gets boring. Sometimes a new setting is all you need for a fresh start. The callback, your conversational time machine. When in doubt, refer back to an earlier part of the conversation. You mentioned earlier that you love to travel. I'm curious, what's the most unexpected thing that's ever happened to you on a trip? This shows you're actively listening and provides a new avenue for discussion. Here's a solid example. Imagine you're on a first date and there's a lull in the conversation. You notice a painting on the wall with swirls of blue and green. Here's how you could use it to restart the conversation. "You know, I just noticed that interesting painting over there. The swirls of blue and green remind me of a time I went hiking in the mountains. There was this moment when I reached the top of the trail and the view of the lake below with the forest around it looked just like that. All blues and greens blending together. It was breathtaking. Do you have a favorite style of art or maybe a memorable outdoor experience that left an impression on you? This technique is powerful because it does more than just break the silence. By commenting on your surroundings and sharing a brief personal story, you're showing attentiveness and opening up. You're also giving your date multiple ways to respond. They can discuss the art, share their own outdoor experiences, or take the conversation in a new direction. It's not about filling air. It's about creating opportunities for genuine connection. This approach makes your date more comfortable by letting them choose where to take the conversation next, leading to more engaging and natural dialogue. Armed with these advanced techniques, you're now equipped to handle any conversational curveball that comes your way. But remember, the ultimate goal isn't to avoid silence at all costs, it's to create meaningful connections. And speaking of meaningful connections, there's one more crucial skill to master: knowing when and how to end a conversation on a high note. As the great showman P.T. Barnum supposedly said, always leave them wanting more. This principle doesn't just apply to circus acts. It's equally powerful in our everyday interactions. The art of the graceful exit, leaving them wanting more. We've covered how to keep a conversation going, but what about ending it on a high note? That's where the art of the graceful exit comes in. This technique is all about concluding a conversation in a way that leaves the other person eager for future interactions. The highlight reel. Before wrapping up, briefly mention something interesting or enjoyable from your conversation. For example, I really enjoyed hearing about your trip to Japan. Your description of the cherry blossoms made me feel like I was there. The future hook. Plant a seed for future conversations. You might say, I'd love to continue our discussion about renewable energy sometime. There's so much more to explore on that topic. The actionable farewell. If appropriate, suggest a specific action or meeting. We should definitely grab coffee next week and finish our debate about the best sci-fi movies. The gratitude close. Express genuine appreciation for the conversation. Thanks for such an insightful chat. Your perspective on urban planning really opened my eyes to some new ideas. The polite but firm exit. Finally, provide a clear but warm closing statement. It's been great talking with you, but I should get going. I'm really looking forward to our paths crossing again soon. Well, wait, that was just an example. Don't go yet. With these conversation techniques in your toolkit, you're now better equipped to navigate a wide range of social situations. Remember, the goal isn't to become a conversational puppet master, but to create genuine connections and enjoy more meaningful interactions. Start small. Try one technique at a time in your daily life and see how it enhances your conversations. Who knows? Your next chat could be the start of a great friendship, a successful business relationship, or even a romantic connection. Becoming a great conversationalist is like mastering any skill. It takes practice. So get out there and start chatting. Before you know it, you'll be the life of the party, the go-to person at networking events, and the one everyone wants to sit next to at dinner parties. But wait, don't go just yet. There's more in the video that's on your screen right now. Watch it next to gain more valuable insights on how you can instantly boost your ability to engage in more meaningful conversations, starting right now. Remember, every great conversation you'll ever have from here on starts with you saying, "Hi." Why not practice right now in the comments? Thanks for watching. I'll see you online soon.